We will begin the meeting of the North Bennington Village Trustees for August 9th.
July.
Thank you. Once I get the stuff in front of me, I'll be able to.
I can bring it up real quick. Maybe not the agenda, hold on.
Bear with me here. Here we go.
Lori sent it over.
We'll begin the meeting with a review and approval of the minutes of Tuesday, June 11 and Tuesday, June 25. Any,
So moved.
You can do it both at once, or you want to do it?
I guess we'll start with the first one. June 11.
We're out of practice.
I sure am.
So June 11th,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the June 11th minutes.
and I will second that.
Any discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And June 25.
I will make a motion to approve the June 25 minutes.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next, review monthly warrant, approve bills. You got a working copy there.
Yep. I just had one question. I just looked at the details. In Park and Rec, it had the fire department electric. Is that just the light out front that always does that, or does that usually go in the fire department, or is that a street light that just goes?
That would be a mistake.
Yeah. Trying to sneak
For
one,
100
sneak a
And that would
fast
be-
one on you.
That would
$100 and
be-
something for the fire department.
Okay,
I don't know if it just kind of got slid in the wrong part.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, when
It
you
would be an
enter
error.
things, it automatically comes up with the last
Yeah.
one that you
Okay, we got
enter.
it.
Gotcha.
So I'm sure I apologize.
Oh, no, I wasn't sure, because sometimes if it's a street light, I know sometimes those go to
No,
park, depending on
there
where
are a couple like that,
they are. Okay.
that would go to the other, but not that.
And, Mary, did you
I
get
can
the,
move that one. Yes, Matt,
do
sorry.
you have some addition, do you have any additions?
No. No, Lori got everything before this.
Where is that on here?
Additions. No, there's nothing else. There's nothing to be added after you receive those warrants this morning.
But you did get the roundtable committee on here?
No, I did not.
Okay.
The roundtable will not need their check until next month.
Did you talk to?
I emailed Sandra
Thank you.
to get a name and address of the organization so we could set them up in QuickBooks.
Okay,
And she said she would have that
okay.
in order for us to.
In her initial email, I thought they were kind of looking for it, so.
Well,
But that's all right.
She said they don't need it until September,
Fine.
but we'll get it on next warrant.
Fine.
Sorry, wasn't sure.
Any other questions?
This doesn't have to do with this warrant, but did you get anything from Norabido
No,
about?
and I wanted to ask you
Because
that.
I just got
because-
mine a couple of days ago, and I'm
No.
gonna go in there, so I'll check to see what they're offering for the village this year. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
we
when the
haven't.
change over if there's
Yeah.
gonna be any.
No, not yet.
Okay.
And then we should also get, before we close the books for this year, if we could get an accounting for exactly what was used.
They should, do they send you that?
They should provide that.
Yeah.
I get, whenever it's delivered, do you get a delivery notice? And then if we've used, every delivery notice has how many gallons you've used, and how many you have left on whatever we locked into, but I think we just get a municipal rate, we don't lock into the number of gallons.
No, and the only thing that I get are bills. I don't, occasionally, I get a separate delivery notice, the little slips.
Yeah,
but not always.
okay.
But maybe
I can check
through
on
there,
that.
they can give you
Yep,
for
I
the
can check on
3
that.
accounts. exactly what was
Be nice
used
to get
up
over.
through the 30th of June, please.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept payment of bills?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, citizen comments. We had a little pre-meeting where we were discussing location of,
We didn't do payroll. No.
oh, sorry. You know, someone else really ought to take those.
Let's not go that way.
Payroll warrant. That looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve payroll.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we're at citizen comments. We met before the meeting to discuss the location of a new sculpture installation and kiosk, information kiosk, that Joe Churchirillo was awarded a grant from our Arts Council. And we were discussing where that might best be placed, and we're still looking at 3 different possibilities, 2 of which we're familiar with, but Jeff Gray, our vice chair of the tree committee and tree warden, wanted to be involved so that we don't negatively affect or impact aesthetics or physicalness of trees. And you had another idea that you shared with Joe?
Yeah, Joe and I walked up and actually directly across from the post office, there's a tree, I think it's a linden, that we've talked about as a tree committee, and I think moving north, that tree really needs to be taken down. The sidewalk's right next to the tree and it's buried too deep now, and basically if that was removed, Joe didn't think that was necessarily a bad spot either. So that should be under consideration for the kiosk. Next to the parking lot across from the post office, good visibility. He didn't think that was a bad idea.
And if that's a consideration, I would argue that the 2 lindens that are across the street that are in horrible shape, really in the Vermont Arts Exchange, not these, but the 2 below that, with close inspection, you'll see that they're a mess and rotting.
You can put those.
So if those were to go out,
Consider replacing them.
either a place there, or that could be another place potentially for the
That's,
sculptures.
we are gonna remove, it's a little off subject, but we're gonna remove the 2 trees in front of the post office. One's dead, one's on its way out, and we've got permission from Ed Riley, who owns the property, to replace it, just 1 tree.
Okay.
And keep just the one closer to the flagpole. We're not gonna put one in there. We're just gonna put one, we use a different way, with good street tree, we're gonna put a locust in there and set it back a little bit further from the sidewalk. He's gonna get permission to set it back, so when the sidewalk should be done there, we'll have plenty of room to get through the sidewalk there. And that's in the works to have that done.
Good. Well, we have time. The sculpture will take some time to build, and we'll discuss this further at the next meeting on the 13th of August. Any other citizen comments? Seeing no other citizens, I think we can safely move forward to the treasurer's report.
All right, I do have a couple of things to discuss tonight. And you can tell me whether you want them later on under other business, since they're not necessarily all treasurer stuff. First though, I wanted to give you a quick update, since we are at the end of the fiscal year, on where we stand with delinquent taxes. Presently, there are 9 properties with delinquent taxes out for the previous fiscal year. 1 is actually even a year prior to that, and 8 are the fiscal year just ended. There is a total of $9,500 due. Of that, there is $3,400 for 6 properties that have delinquencies to the village. One property accounts for 70% of that delinquent total. The full is owed 6,100. All 9 properties have something due in school taxes, but 3 properties actually account for over 83% of that total. 2 of those actually have been to tax sale. One will be redeemed by the end of August, middle of September. The other one was the successful bidder never did redeem that property, so it may yet be delinquent and back on the tax sale market if he chooses not to redeem. But my goal is 0. We're not there, but maybe next year.
It's not too bad.
No, in hearing those numbers, it's actually very impressive.
And the one that accounts for 70% of the village properties, that taxpayer does have a payment plan. They are just habitually late on it, so I really don't doubt that that one will be paid in coming months.
Have you made contact at all? Are they all at least responding to contact? Or?
There are a couple that are not, and I know there were a couple of taxpayers who just are a little elderly, and so, you know, eventually it'll get paid, and you just don't want to hound somebody who may have a little bit of a medical problem or something. But that's where that is. The other thing is, I did send out where our cash balances are. So right now, we're okay, but the amount that the cash that we have on hand to pay bills until taxes start coming in is just about 120,000. And we know that, although that seems healthy for right now, we did know that we earmarked a significant amount of that for road work between now and the end of the year. I am waiting for some funds to come in for the roof repairs that were paid several years ago, or several months ago, and that should still come in. The other thing that I sent around this afternoon, and I hope that the version you got, you could see the color coding that I put on it. But there was a budget versus actual report that I sent out this afternoon. Again, it's a little too early yet to tell what our tax rates are going to be, but I did put a number of notes on there since I don't see anybody necessarily with reports out. Let's just say when you do get that look at it, and we can go over that in a little bit more detail perhaps next month when we have a full board here. Nothing though that is ultimately concerning or alarming. And we are likely going to be a little bit over budget in the fire department, possibly even the highway, depending on how much we decide we want to roll over for the road work. And the village general expenses are pretty much right in budget, as is the parks expense. The other matters that I had were 3. Matt needs to sign the acknowledgement of the electric vehicle charging station grant. We need for you, the board, to authorize and adopt the town road and bridge standards. We talked about that briefly at last meeting. Norm reviewed this and has indicated how this should be signed, so that's one thing that needs your signature. And then finally, the final matter is reviewing the small claims complaint for the cleanup of 40 Main Street. The instructions for doing this are not plentiful. They're pretty slim. So I do have that, and perhaps at some point we can.
Is that something we want to discuss in executive? Is it legal matter?
Probably, maybe,
If there's any discussion?
Yeah.
And then we can figure out how to.
Yeah, and then these other 2 matters, I don't know, this one requires a vote, you might want to do that under either old or new business. the one that the town and road and bridge standards, and Matt, this just is your signature. So we can take care of
What do
that.
you want to do? Want to just deal with that now, those two things, or?
Are you done with your report?
That's it.
So if we just go to the report, skip to.
New biz?
Sure.
It's old biz, I guess, yeah, all of it. Yeah, let's do that.
So the
Hand me the
road and
thing I
bridge
need.
standards,
Yeah, so what do we
Okay.
need?
it just says that you have adopted these today, and then you'll see on the back that you just have to sign it. And you can review the answers on the front page. that-
I'll entertain a motion to adopt the road and bridge standards as spelled out in this document. On this date, 7/9.
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Matthew, this needs a couple of initials on the front page and just your signature initials on the back. But I will mention that the letter that we got with this said that there were 95 applications for this grant and only 9 awards, and the village received 1 of the 9,
Fantastic.
so I think that's pretty good.
Was there any reason for that, why only 10% were awarded, or just the quality of the grant application?
I don't know, it doesn't say that. I'm just happy that North Bennington got one of them.
So much.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Bennington
And-
already has 3 or more down there.
And also, just so that the board is aware and the public as well, we have until 2021, I believe it says on there, to complete the project. So it's not like it's something that has to be done ASAP, but BCRC will help with the next phase, which is all the engineering and design.
And is that paid for under the grant? The
I beg your
engineer?
pardon? Yes. Yes. There was some matching funds from the village, but. Thank you.
Okay, while we're
That's
in old business, any other old business?
I just had a couple. Did we get a chance to get the ordinance stuff done? Where we're trying to get it into a document that we could,
yeah.
so he's gonna do that?
The only ones we have right now are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 17, 21, 25, 26, 27, 29, and 30.
Okay.
One of those is 74 pages. So whoever tackles that one.
Do we know what each of those?
Historical Preservation Society, signs, taxi cabs, vendors, housing, which is 33 pages. Use of public way, public nuisance, that's a short one. Construction is 74 pages, water sewer is 15, private alarm 4. Fire department service reimbursement is 6, solar 2, property maintenance 8. So some of these we might not need. I don't know if we have a reimbursement thing. for
Well, I'm
fire
not sure
department.
we do.
I don't know what is in it.
What was our greatest concerns? It was more, it
Well,
was.
It was
mostly
like-
in reviewing them, they all need language change because they're written to and for the town of Bennington.
Right.
Yeah, so we just have to plug in.
And the others, some of them aren't applicable to us.
Some of them aren't, like the Historical Preservation Society is number 1 on their list and they reference it back in some of the others. So if we don't want the Historical Preservation Society, then some of the wording in the other ones will have to be changed to
Mhm.
maybe say trustees or something.
And you say we have these already in Word
Those are
document?
all in Word documents, yeah.
I'm gonna let you proceed with how you wanna proceed with this. I've always been a bit of a reluctant participant in this process, so I think it's great that the board wants to proceed. I think there are a few things that are certainly of issue. I guess when we originally talked,
But we didn't have the animal ordinance because no one knew where that was, but now we have that.
The big thing is to just figure out which ones do apply to us, which ones don't. don't adopt those that don't apply to us, adopt the ones that do, so we can become more consistent and able to point to these things when we have issues, which we can't do now.
Yeah, because right now the town doesn't.
And to get something that, and put it somewhere where we can find it. Because right now, we always are referencing the 7 or 8 different things that have happened over the past 20 years, and, you know, for whatever reason, we don't have them in the right spot, or they're not accessible to us, so
So, where are you on this? Have you done,
well, I brought it up, we said we were gonna do this,
Yeah.
and
We're gonna
then,
break it down so everyone took a
so the
couple.
last conversation is that I thought it was very unfair that, I mean, Erin came on and, or excuse me, Tara came on and said that she would kind of take this over, but it's way too much for one person to do.
God,
And so it should be that we at least, for those that are quick and easy, we should separate them out, read through them. If we have questions, you open up to the questions, we talk about them, and approve what we can approve.
Or for you
I
again?
think a few.
So if we all took some that were applicable and then copied them into other documents, made the changes, is that
Yep,
what you're
so we can at
thinking?
least start the process.
Share them,
Yep,
like a Google.
I almost would be willing to, just because I think getting on the same table as to the process and then deciding which ones are most important, that maybe we ought to have an hour working meeting sometime,
yep.
where we could all sit down and,
I think that makes sense.
do the assignments, have, I think, a lively discussion about the things that I'm concerned about, that I really don't wanna be, and then the things that I think are clearly, that are constantly we're running into, which is things like noise ordinance and dogs.
And are either of those, or we found the
We found the
Found
old
the
one
old one?
that we
Our
forwarded.
old
Yeah,
one,
our old one.
but we don't have
We
their
don't have
new
But
one
if John,
because it's not.
so if John, if we targeted, do we know which number goes with
Not
which?
not
Because if we
that-
said to John, do these two,
We gave him the list of the ones that we needed
okay.
for that we haven't gotten yet, and he has those numbers, but I don't know, we just didn't get them.
I think we can freely throw John under the bus.
Well,
on
if
that.
he just does those two, then for the.
Well, if he
Yeah.
does all of them, if he has the program, it doesn't cost him any money, it just costs time. A little
Right.
time to click and
Right.
push and make them all happen. I don't know how long it took him to do the first 5 that he sent out. But then it's really easy to just change it.
Right.
And if we want it, we don't, we can do it. But like the construction one, that was pretty detailed because it's 74 pages long. And that might have some questions where I can't just say village of instead of
Right.
town of. And,
We have extensive, provisions on a lot of
we
this
do, it's in the bylaws.
that I think have met our needs when it comes to construction and stuff like that.
Well, the other thing we can do too is, we can also go to
What we-
our other boards for advice on.
I think those have all fit. I don't know that there's been any issues at all when it comes to, and that's what I just happened to have up here when I found it from an old. Well, let's pick a date, and of course, John's not here to
Input.
input that. I'm gonna have,
Should we do it by email then?
yeah, I guess so, thank you.
I would favor after August 15th. Just saying. But if you want to do it earlier, I will.
I think I'm okay with that if Mark feels that we are in earnest gonna do this and gonna meet. I sense.
Definitely, yeah, no, I mean.
I will start
this
the
will do-
process of translating some of the shorter ones with the words changed, like the solar one and all the ones that I'm confident on, that I have, prior to that. In terms of meeting, I'd love to meet later.
I mean, one thing we could do, what's going on the 15th?
The end of camp.
Oh.
I could do it.
I was just wondering if we didn't meet at 6 on the 13th of
Right.
next month.
Yes,
Need an hour earlier.
sure,
Since we're
I'm
gonna
fine
meet
with that.
anyway, yeah.
yeah.
Let's do that.
I'll have some plugged away at.
And we'll see if John can get the remainder of that stuff to us. Yeah, I think, and that's what we'll do. And by then, we hope we'll have something, or at least we'll sit together and figure out exactly how to proceed. Does that satisfy your,
Yeah, no,
okay.
just moving it forward.
He's just being the minority whip,
I appreciate it. You know,
or majority whip, I don't know.
okay. Anything else? Old business?
I've got a couple things that I can wait for Norm, because they're both involved in Norm.
Okay. Then let's
His
go
report.
back to Highway Facilities Report. Mr. LeBlanc?
Not much, so, report, mowing, taking care of the parks, waiting on our pavement project to start. That'll be next month, and then just doing some general maintenance and cleanup.
Remind us again what the big project?
I'm gonna pave Royal Street, West Street, School Street.
And that all will happen right in the same mobilization time, and
Supposed to,
it looks like the water department has gotten on, looks like they're doing something on school now.
I believe, yes, they've been working on school.
How's the grass doing on that project out on West McCullough Road?
It's all
Looks
done.
good. That looks good. Any other questions for Norm?
I just had, one was, the Rich Heights thing, the culvert. Did you get
I'm
my
waiting on the
email?
culvert.
What's that?
I'm waiting on, we've cut those trees that we were gonna, I'm just waiting on the culvert to show up.
Okay, so you, okay. I was
Sure.
just, did you, cause, okay, I just wanna make sure that my email got to you. And the other one was, I spoke across here, the drainage problem that we've talked about a couple times. Where are we at with that and what we think we can do? I think the last discussion we said if we could drop off a load of topsoil, and then if they're happy with spreading it and seeding it.
I think if that's what we decided, we can do that.
Alright,
I mean,
so I'll make
I don't
contacts.
think
and-
that was the,
I don't think we really ever, we talked about it a bit, thought about some options, and then it just kind of went away.
yeah.
But are we still willing to put a load of topsoil in there?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll have a conversation with her tomorrow and see if that
Okay.
would satisfy them. And we can make a plan to do that, and I'll touch base with you after I talk to her.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, that's it.
What
I-
area
I have a
is this?
Pardon me?
What area?
The
Oh,
name?
I'm sorry, it's the Harrington property right here on the corner.
What's happening? Water's coming off of here?
Yeah, it kind of all happened at the same time. There was a repaving of the road, and during that project, they also
Redid the sewer
redid
lines,
their
water line.
water line. And since then, they said they've been getting water in the basement. So I think pinpointing what the actual cause is would be impossible. I don't think we changed the road much at all in terms of slope, or, so it could just be that, you know, it happened to be the perfect.
It's the
storm,
path
so
of
to
least
speak.
resistance where the new line is going in, and it's fine.
Yeah, so they say, and, you know, we've been working with them the last couple of years trying to help with solutions, so that we continue to try to help, but.
Appreciate it. The only other thing is, John sent a letter tonight. I think it was from, who was that email from?
It's from somebody with the water project.
Zelesny.
Yeah, Steve Selesny? Oh, that says the contractor on
The
our
con- I think it was from Steve.
The letter wasn't from Steve, I think they referenced Steve
Yeah.
in there saying that they could give us his contact. I believe he's
No,
the
I
same.
think it was from Steve Goodrich.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it was about Steve Zolaz.
Yeah, I think he's the project manager. I think I met him
Yeah. I think
when he was
that's.
thinking about the park again
Yeah.
and doing that, so I think I actually have his contact information already.
I think it came from, it was like a text or something, 'cause it's got a phone number.
Yeah.
So, this is an interesting way to have communication between departments, but if someone could come from the water department to talk to us about it, it'd be easier to understand what their limitations are and expectations.
Do you know what they're looking to store, Norm?
We were
Space-wise,
asked today if they could put a job trailer in the village. They came up with a couple locations one that's most suited is on the dirt gravel driveway right over here next to the barn.
Of that piece?
Not the
Because
agenda.
it's a driveway,
Yeah.
you know, not putting it in a grassy area that we mow.
How big is this thing?
I would assume 16 foot, it's a job trailer. So that email talks about a laydown yard, which is
Different.
a lot more involved.
So this is where the confusion is, and until we know what's,
They
you
didn't
know.
really give us anything to really go by, the conversation from them, so.
So again, if somebody wants to get in touch with us, I don't know when John's back, but, you know, if it is just a trailer, we might be able to, if the grant monies, federal monies, if they allow for such a thing to be on that piece, that parcel, which is not actually owned by us, and it's associated with the railroad, which seems a little sketchy too.
No, we rent that. That's part of our lease
I
agreement.
think that's part of.
That's ours. to-
I know we lease it, but it falls under the same stuff as all the other stuff near the tracks and all that.
Yes.
So now you have to get permission from the railroad.
Seems to me they might find a better, easier solution, but, we'll follow up on that when John gets back. You know, we just got this 20 minutes ago, so.
I have one question. Who takes care of the swings, Lions Park?
Swings?
The swings, is it the line? Who-
Mark.
who-
It's basically, yeah,
Should I tell you there's 2 broken swings?
I bet there's not.
we just replaced them.
I'll bet you money there's not.
Did
We
you just
just-
replace them?
Do you know when did you see them last?
Like, I forgot to.
Was it a little bit ago or was
Yeah,
it
it was
recent?
probably 3
Okay,
weeks
yeah, it
ago.
was, we got a call
Thank you.
and Norm
Awesome.
replaced them.
Thanks, Norm.
Thanks, Norm.
But in the future, though, if there are things there-
There was one that was broken and then one was sort of cracked, like
Is it one of those plastic?
They're just old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're just.
Sunlight.
Sun cracking.
But in the
Okay.
future, you could
Just let you know?
Yep, and then I'll,
I forgot about it, so, yeah.
Thanks, Norm. The park's getting a lot of use. A lot of people out there.
Yeah.
DRB,
We have a meeting this month, but we haven't met about it yet. Next month.
what is on the agenda,
It relates to the Kevin's outdoor seating.
which I see they're already doing? Wasn't there some question brought up at the end there about?
I emailed John because I saw that they were out there and I saw people drinking beer and he said that they are compliant with the alcohol serving outside right now, but we, I don't know if we are having our DRB meeting post problem.
Well, should get it all,
But he said they're copacetic in terms of alcohol.
okay. What was next?
So sorry.
Strange little get up you got here. My battery died. Planning, nothing really happening right now. Fire department,
got the truck.
they got their truck. Are they selling the other one?
They said they were gonna scrap it and they would let me know when they were scrapping it, and then the proceeds from that go back to the village.
Should we go back into,
They can go back into their reserve
didn't
fund.
they come out of their reserve, the truck replacement?
The truck did, it could, if you so voted it, but
I would think if all the money came out
it is not
of
part
it.
of the cost of the vehicle, the entire cost of the vehicle, 34,000 plus came out of the reserve after it got funded by the 20,000 for this year.
Right.
So there was a net $14,000 reduced out of that fund.
Well, we can figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking a
Whatever's-
few $100s. It's de
Right.
minimis. They're already over budget for the year, so.
Well, but that's a discussion we will have
Yeah.
in earnest
Yes.
This fall, late fall. Water board, I guess we kind of, unless anybody knows anything more about what's going on with that project, I certainly don't. Are they started anything? Are they up, laying line up
No, I
in
think
Jasper or?
I'm the highway guy.
I know you. Just thought you might have heard rumor or something.
Yeah, I don't think they were targeted to start till mid to later
Okay.
this month.
New business, anything?
What was the thing about Ron Nady's place, old place? Is that new business, or did we talk about that on email and cover it?
So that's something that there's,
Yeah,
that
it's
there's,
not that place though, is it?
I don't know, it was,
It's right near it though, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Chris Damon, the design
Yes.
administrator, is gonna be
He's
Dealing with it?
Yeah.
looking into it and then probably seeking some input. But,
Okay.
it's not clear to me what all the issues are yet.
I wasn't clear what the picture was about. It was just a picture with something in it.
Was it like the back of the?
It might have been, but it had like a chair maybe?
Yeah, it's garbage.
Okay.
It's, you know, debris that's just out there. I think it's in the way. It just
Okay.
keeps getting.
But is it against his building again, his barns, or is it?
No,
It's not his building.
it's
It's
not,
already
it's
sold on
not
Main
Street.
his.
Or not on Main
It's
Street.
another owner.
Yeah.
Who purchased it, so.
Yeah. Alright, I'll touch base with him on that. I think, no other new business? I think we do need an executive for, contracts, to discuss our next move with respect to, hiring. So if there's no other business, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.